Hello, everyone, and welcome. It's Shanna. Now, today is day 8 of our Spellbinders Crafty Advent Calendar. And we've got a box here that is kind of narrow, and we're just going to tear into it and see what we've got. From the picture there, it looks like we've got a little vase with a flower and some leaves, and I'm just showing you the little flap there. And we'll see what all we've got. So here's the vase, here's a long stem, a couple shorter stems. Looks like we've got 2 leaves and we've got a flower. Now I brought in scraps from my Spellbinders, and I'm just going to die cut it out. I'm going to bring in some washi tape and tape it down so that I can run everything through at once. So I've got my 2 leaves and my 3 stems there, and I've got my on the pink I've got the big part of my flower, and then there are 3 smaller parts of the flower. I'm just going to die cut those all out of the same color, and then we'll do some ink blending on them to kind of create some variation of color for the flowers. And then I've got my vase that I'm doing on that blue there. And we're just going to use the Scout and get them all lined up on there, and we'll just run them through. I was surprised to see another die. We've had quite a few dies. I keep expecting to run into some embellishment, but I haven't ran into any embellishments yet. Last year, I think we got a couple of packs of sequins, if I remember right. So I'm just getting all my pieces here, and I've got my small pink blending brush, and I know that I used raspberry on it last time I used it, because I used those Altenew inks for the stenciling, and so I know there's some raspberry on there. And that very center piece, I wanted it to be really dark, and then I want to shade the 2 lighter pieces. But I'm going to grab that raspberry and bring it in so I can get some heavy ink on there, because I want there to be some differentiation of that pink that Dahlia cardstock on the different areas of the flowers. So I'm just going to rub it on there, and we'll have some shadowing. I had to pause for a minute because my husband decided to clang and bang around the house a little bit. So just finishing up the blending on there. We'll just get my desk cleaned off here so I don't make a mess on my rest of my stuff. And I'm going to bring in the leaves, and I'm going to use some green that I've got on a green blending brush and just add some dimension to those as well. Just trying to get all my parts there. And then I've got my blue vase, and just getting all my my tape and my dies taken apart. And so I'm going to lay some green ink down on these leaves, and I'm doing the same thing, just using what's left on my brush. And I think it's probably pine needles. And there, we've got that taken care of. Got to clean up again. And then I think I'm actually going to grab my blue blending brush and add some shading to that vase. And I've bent it a couple times, but I was able to flatten it back out. Just add some shading to it too. So, and I'm cleaning. I know it looks silly that I'm cleaning my desk every time, but I'm just, not wanting to mix the colors up and just have a real clean blend. So I've got all my parts here to this point, at least I think I do. And I'm going to figure out how to lay these stems in here in this vase so that I can get my leaves and my flower on there and make sure it's going to fit on my panel that I have cut down for this. And I must have felt like there was some junk on my desk, so I just eyeballed it again, and I'm going to get these stems laid down there, and I make sure they're going to work. And I'm going to just bring in my tape runner and just run a couple strips of tape down there, and then just lay it down on those stems and pick them up off of my glass mat and just get them arranged like that. And then I can just double check and make sure my flower and my leaves are all going to fit on there. Trying to decide which one I want to use on which stem, and then I'll just decide and I'll get it laid down on there. And so I'm going to just blend a little bit on the bigger flower too, and then we'll just bring in some glue and just dot it. There's just, a little circular area that is perfect for sticking your leaves and your flowers down on. It gives you a nice little base. And I'm just still trying to decide how I want to lay those leaves down. And so I'm going to settle on this. And then I'll bring my floral element in. And I was thinking about laying it down. I thought, no, I'm going to assemble it first because we've got several layers there. You've got like the base of the centerpiece, and then you've got the very, very center, and then you've got this side of it. That's the best way I know how to explain it, but it makes a nice little cup with a dark center in there. It's kind of a nice design on this flower. I liked it. And then we'll lay the this side of it, and it makes a nice little cup on there. And I'll get it laid down on its stem. And I can't pick it up with that because we've got all those layers on there. So I'm going to grab my tweezers and just get it laid down on there. And I like it, but I'm thinking it looks a little sparse. So I'm gonna get a couple more leaves. I'm going to go ahead and die cut out the stems again and both the leaves. And I'm going to try and fit them on this piece of, I think it's peridot that I have here, and just fit the leaves and the stems on there. I decided I'm not going to use the long stem. I thought about using it because it's so narrow, but I think I can get these two stems and the leaves out of this scrap that I've got here. I have to fiddle with it a little bit and actually have to tape it down so it doesn't move on me. But I will be able to get 2 more leaves and stems out of this, and then we can add some more and kind of make our little vase look a little bit fuller. So I'll just grab my Scout die cutting machine. We'll bring it in and we will go ahead and get these die cut out. And this will help fill up our vase. And my tape came off, so I'm going to have to fidget with it again and get it laid back down on here so that it will die cut the whole thing out. And I can't really remember how I had it, so I'm just trying to get it back in there to where I know it'll fit. And there we go. We'll tape it down and we'll get this die cut out. And then we can add these to our vase, and it will look a lot better than just the twiggy, very twiggy looking leaves and flower that we've got in there. This is like a little bud vase anyway, where you just put one in. But I would put several leaves in with a bud just to make it look fuller. I have a really nice crystal bud vase that I will periodically cut a bud from my flower garden and bring in and put in that with some leaves. And here I am cleaning up again, just getting all that off of there. Just trying not to contaminate my other panels. And I'm just going to put some more tape on there and just lay these down from the back side, and then I can turn it over and put my leaves, position them how I want them. There we go. And I'm going to clamp my stems with my tweezers just to get them good and adhered. And then I moved it onto my leaves, and I'll go ahead and get my other leaf laid down. And it looks a bit fuller. I think it looks a bit better. And we'll clamp that one. Now we're just going to build our card base. So I've got my A2 size panel already cut and scored and folded. I'm just going to press it with my bone folder to give a good clean. I've got a stitched edge detail on this. I used Cat Scrappiness Fall Frame craft die for these two pieces. It does the outer layer, this A2 layer with a stitched detail, and then it does this frame with a stitched detail. And I thought I would use it for this card. And I used some of that Cat Scrappiness Christmas Brights 2 for this. I'm loving this bright paper, and I thought it would look nice with this. And so I'm going to get this glued up and get it laid down on there. And it fills up that panel nicely. I think it looks pretty. I like the plaid with it. I thought the colors that I chose would match well with that background plaid paper. So I am just going to bring in our Hello Friend from the stamp set and lay it down on here, and we'll stamp it up. I'm hoping I have enough room on there and I don't mess it up at this point because my card's pretty far along. And so I'm going to use my Misty to get it laid down in there, and I'll use my magnet to try and hold it down and get it lined up. Now, I'm going to bring in some Crafty Kimmy ink for this, and we'll just get this inked up, and we'll stamp it down a couple times and get a good stamp, and then we'll be good to go. And so we've got Hello Friend on there, and I think it looks nice. And I'll just clean my stamp and put my Misty away, and then we're going to embellish. So I've got some just pink enamel dots, and these are from Cat Scrappiness as well, and I am going to just lay several of these down on our card panel there, kind of in our focal area. And we'll do the visual triangle with these. And then that'll pretty much finish up our card. So we'll get these laid down. I'm just going to add a few more. And I think it looks nice. Now I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in my white gel pen and just kind of put a couple highlights on there. Just a little white highlight on the vase, and then a little white highlight on the cup of the flower. And then that'll finish it off. I think it turned out pretty nice. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Take care. Bye-bye.